6 facts about the brutality of Viking life. Viking slaves were often buried with their masters. Vikings prospered on eunuch trade. They had a drowning competition. Here are some brutal examples of the way of the Vikings. 1. The Vikings abused the dueling system. Holmgang was a ritualistic method of Viking dueling. The reasons included the payment of a debt, property disputes, or honor. If the challenge party failed to attend, they were dishonored. They could be sentenced to banishment or even death. The system was invariably abused as a form of legalized robbery. Warriors used it to claim rights of land, property, or women from others. As a result, the practice was outlawed in 1014 in Norway. 2. Viking slaves were often sacrificed. The Vikings had slaves or serfs who were seen as property. Some were slaves from birth, others captured in wars. Slaves were capable of earning or buying their freedom. However, most of them died a violent death. They were sacrificed in honor of their deceased masters. There are accounts of slave women being ritualistically raped and killed. 3. Monks captured as slaves were often castrated. The slave trade was a significant part of the Viking culture and economy. Vikings traded with the Byzantine Empire and the Abbasid Caliphate. Both preferred for their male slaves to be eunuchs. It is likely they were used as guards for harems. Vikings raided monasteries, not just for the loot. They captured literate males to be turned into eunuchs and sold off. The need for eunuchs drove much of the Mediterranean slave trade. 4. Berserkers could kill their own people. Berserkers are often depicted in popular culture and video games. They were warriors who entered the battle in a state of rage. They fought without armor and often wore bare skins. Berserkers howled like wild animals and gnawed on their shields. In their bestial fury, berserkers were unable to tell friend from foe. Sometimes they went into a rage during hard manual labor. After the rage passed, the warriors were left feeble for days. Some scholars think berserkers used hallucinogenic plants. This is evidenced by seeds discovered in Viking burials. 5. The Vikings enjoyed deadly horse fights. Hestavig was a ritualized competition. 2 stallions were forced to fight to the death in front of spectators. The stallions would be introduced to a mare in heat. Then they were encouraged to fight over it. If they refused, they were whipped or startled. The fight usually ended in death or severe injury of one of the horses. The fighting wasn't just used for entertainment. It also served to identify the ideal specimens for breeding. 6. Viking sports and competitions were incredibly violent. The Vikings loved various competitions. Some were pretty normal, such as tug of war. One game resembled soccer, where 2 teams fought for a ball. Other competitions were brutal. One can be best described as a drowning competition. The goal was to hold the opponent underwater for as long as possible. The Vikings also had wrestling matches. The arena had a flat stone for breaking the opponent's back.